Hi, I'm Christina Young. Today we're going to be working on lower body exercises specific to a knee rehabilitation program. These exercises are going to target our quadriceps, hamstrings, calf muscles, and hips. For these exercises today, we only need three things. We need a chair, a little piece of TheraBand, and dumbbells. Our biggest goal today is to target the area around our knees because those are the muscles that we're going to use the most often. For our first exercise, we're going to do a standing hill raise. This is a strengthening exercise that targets our gastrocnemius, soleus, and toe flexors. It aids in balance and proprioception as well. So we're going to start off by having our chair. We're going to place both hands on the chair for stability. We're going to spread our feet almost shoulder width apart, but not quite. And we're just going to go up on our toes, up and down back on our heels. We're going to do that about 10 to 15 times in succession. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When you're doing this exercise, you really want to make sure you're driving up on your toe to engage that gastrosoleus and toe flexor muscles. For our next exercise, we're going to be doing a standing hamstring curl. As the name implies, we're going to be targeting the hamstring group, which are required to bend your knee. We're going to start by utilizing our stability device, aka a chair, and have our neck, back, and head nice and straight. And this is our starting position. Feet should be about shoulder width apart, toes pointed forward. We're going to slowly bend our heel back towards our bottom on one leg, and keeping our toe pointed down, we're going to return it to the resting position. We're going to do that about 10 to 15 times, making sure that we're contracting our hamstring muscle very well and keeping everything nice and in line. Not bending forward over too much, just going nice and slow and controlled. So we'll do that about 10 to 15 times and switch over to our other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we'll switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The next exercise we're going to be doing is a long arm quad. We'll be utilizing the chair for this exercise, and you'll actually be seated. You want to make sure you're just far enough away from the chair and have your legs hang down at a 90-degree angle. You want to make sure everything's nice and straight and even. Make sure everything's nice and engaged as well. And as the name implies, we're going to be targeting our quadriceps muscle. So for this exercise, you don't want to lean back. You want to maintain that nice upright position. And you're going to drive your toe up with one leg, walk that knee out, make sure it's nice and straight, give a good hold, and come down. Point that toe up, walk that knee out, hold, and come down. We're going to do 10 of those for each side. Keeping that toe pointed, make sure our back is nice and straight. We're not leaning back like this. And making sure we're contracting that quad muscle. We should be able to feel it get nice and tight. So then we'll switch to the other leg. After this exercise, we're going to utilize our TheraBand and what's known as a terminal knee extension. For this, we're going to need to make a loop. Place it around our knee, nice and parallel. We're going to be tying this around the chair, and when you're doing this, you want to make sure you have a good hold on the chair, or else it's going to slip. So this goes around your knee. We're going to tie it around the chair. Holding the chair. We're going to make sure our feet are about shoulder width apart, and then we're going to come up on our toe and squash back down like you're squashing a bug. So all the way up on your toe, bending that knee, Squashing back down like you're stepping on a bug, pushing through your heel. This is going to test the end ranges of our quadriceps muscle and really help to strengthen them. We're going to do a couple reps of them. So up on your toe, squash back down on your heel. And you want to make sure you're not leaning over this too much. I am having to push on this chair so it won't move, but that's just giving me a good amount of resistance. And to increase the resistance, you just step out a little bit further and do the same thing. Up on your toe, drive back down on your heel. So then you'll just repeat this with the other side, the other leg. I'm going to step out of it and show you our next exercise. So we want to do clamshells next. And this is an exercise that involves getting on the floor. We're going to make the band a loop, the TheraBand a loop again. So this time it's going to be right above our knees. So I'm going to lay on the floor. My head's going to be this way, my legs are going to be this way. And this is going to be targeting our hips, the muscles in our hips. So I'll be laying on the floor, making sure my feet are behind me, my knees are bent, tucked up, but not too far up that I'm doing this. Making sure we're in a nice straight line all the way down, keeping my head down, not propped up, laid over. And then we're just going to open our knees up, hold, go down. Up, hold, go down. Keeping our ankles together. Up, down. I don't want to be turning out like this. I just want to make sure that just my knees are opening up to really test out my hip muscles. Do a couple of those. And then we'll just switch it and do it on the other side. So about 10 to 15 reps for each side. The next exercise we're going to do is lateral walks. So I'm going to show you, we want to make sure that we're faced this way. Head is pointing forward, toes are pointing forward. Feet to start out with are about shoulder width apart. Our knees are bent, but not over our toes. We're maintaining a nice straight back. And then we're just going to open up our legs. So one at a time, we're going to step out, come back together. Step out, come back together. We don't come completely together. We just go back and forth. If you're doing this right, you should feel this in your gluteus medius. It'll burn right here. Out, back, out, back. What we don't want to see is you coming up every time. You want to make sure you're staying squatted the whole time. Out, back, out, back. And to show you what that looks like, side to side, down, great. So the next exercise we'll be doing is Romanian deadlift. This exercise is a more advanced hamstring exercise. Really, really targets those hamstrings and forces you to use your back and your glutes as well. For this exercise, you'll need some dumbbells. I'm going to start with feet shoulder width apart, just like this. Maybe even just a little bit closer together. Not completely close together, not completely far apart. Nice, good stance. So I'm going to go ahead and face this way. Toes should be pointing forward. You want to make sure you have a nice straight back, and you're going to drive the hips back, but keep your spine pretty neutral in its natural arch. Whew. So we want to make sure our knees don't bend too much. They should have a little bend in them, but you really want them as straight as you can get them without it being uncomfortable. So we're going to drive our hips back, keeping our knees nice and straight until we feel a stretch in our hamstrings. And we're going to come up and squeeze with our glutes. So we're going to do that a couple of times, about 10. And since this exercise is working both sides at the same time, you don't have to repeat it on other sides. So again, we're going to drive our hips back, keeping our back in a natural arch, go down until we get the little stretch in our hamstrings, tighten our glutes up, and hold. And then we'll go down, making sure we're breathing out on exertion and in on relaxation. We want to make sure our head isn't dropping too much, it's staying nice and straight with our spine. So just a few more reps of those. Drive those hips back. Come back up. Drive those hips back. Come back up. All right, for our next exercise, we're gonna need a step or a box. We're gonna go outside to do this actually, but this is a great exercise. It's very functional. It helps you with going downstairs, every type of knee movement pretty much, bending, straightening. It's a great, great exercise and it's called lateral dips. So the main thing we want to remember with lateral dips is that we want to stay level. Lateral, level the whole time. Our hips will stay level as we go up and down. So you want to start with a stability device. I have to have a little bit of stability, but as you advance through these, you can kind of take away your point of attachment. So we're going to start with our left leg on the edge of the step. Everything's facing forward. Our right leg is going to hang off just a little bit, and I'm going to hold just my fingertips onto my stability bar. So I'm going to keep my toe pointed up like it's towards my calf muscle, and I'm just going to go and tap down. Like I said, my hips are staying level, my knees nice and straight, my ankle's just going to tap the ground. Tap, up, tap, up. My left leg is the one that's working here. It's doing the bending and heavy lifting. All of my body weight is on it. And this is also a really great balance exercise. Tap, 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 tap. Woo. Tap, tap. Great. So we're going to switch to the other side. It's the same thing but opposite. My right leg is going to be at the edge, my left leg is going to be hovering, and now I'm going to be bending my right leg and keeping my toe pointed up on my left leg. Everything's nice and even and level. I struggle with this side. Here's my stability bar. I'm just going to go down and tap, 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 down and tap. I'm not reaching down like this. I'm staying nice and level and really utilizing my knee to make the movement. All right, that's it. Thank you guys for watching.